Okay. Um, let's some attendance. We want to discuss VIPs, right? Let's start with dates. Oh, that Ramon was also gonna come. Okay. Yeah, thanks. Welcome all to the Foundational Infrastructure Working Group. Today's agenda items, VIPs. So we got a permission from Canonical to start uh, creating VIP stem cells for internal use within the foundation, which means we can produce stem cells that cannot go on Bosch.io, but we can put them in a private bucket and then use them in, say, CF deployment, but also components pipelines for testing purposes. Why we want to do that is because that allows us to test compatibility. So we can find issues with components that are incompatible with VIPs and have a way to fix those issues upstream. And then it's up to the different vendors to negotiate their own contracts with Canonical and build or figure out their own ways of producing a VIP stem cell. But at least we know that the functionality in the stem cell builder for producing VIP stem cells has been tested, and that the stem cells produced by that are compatible with CF deployment, at least. That's the goal. There's a few steps that need to happen. First off, we need to go and build a VIPS Jammy stem cell. That's quite a big one. And that work, I believe there's some interest from SAP in contributing, and I know that from the VMware side, we have some pressure to take on that work. And I believe that Ramon potentially maybe wants to be involved. We need to figure that one out.
Is this really the case, Ramon? So, but with we, you mean the community, right? With the stem cell?
Yeah, so the foundation. So like we would we want a pipeline, a public pipeline, I guess, but the end result of it is not going to be public, right? So we have the, I don't know, what's it, Bosch.ci. We have this instance, Concourse instance, which is owned by the foundation, and this is where we already have bionic VIPs, right? So we have a pipeline here to create a bionic VIP stem cell. We want something like that. It's currently paused because bionic is out of support, but we want a similar thing for Jammy. And then we want that. Wait, he dropped?
Yeah, Stefan seems like he had today network connections, internet connections.
But this is recorded, right? So he should be able to look.
Yeah, correct.
I will continue and I can recap if he joins back. I don't know. It's awkward if we wait here 10 minutes for his internet issues to go away. So yeah, we want a version of this pipeline, but then for Jammy. And we probably have to figure some things out or backport some of the features that were on this branch to be able to Stefan is coming back.
I'm sorry.
No problem. Welcome back.
I have a bad network at the moment.
Yeah, no problem. So we need a Jammy version as a first step of this pipeline, and that will need some backporting of the stuff that was done on the Bionic branch to the Jammy branch. But yeah, it's just work that needs to happen, and I feel like we need to. This is the first step, and we as a group need to figure out how we want to collaborate, basically, because there's probably multiple people that want to help in this, but yeah, I think last time we did this cross-cutting collaboration, it was just Ramon mainly driving the work. So yeah, I'm open to ideas.
Should we create again a Slack channel for that?
I first a question.
Yeah.
Did I get it right? So the idea is that the community builds its own FIP stem cell,
Yes.
and because of at SAP we had an agreement with Canonical that they build the FIP stem cell.
I know, but
they provide it within a repository where we get access to, where we can download it and then handle the license thing. So
yeah,
wouldn't that be also a solution for the community, or?
yeah, but they are downstream of this pipeline. So Canonical helped us build this pipeline, and then if this pipeline goes green, this is basically the stem cell builder, right? There's code that goes into the stem cell builder. If they make changes to the stem cell builder, we want to validate that the stem cell builder still works. That's why we have this pipeline. And then they have their internal downstream process to republish it. So we want that. But this time around, we are actually allowed to use the stem cell that we create, right? First, it was just, this pipeline was just for validating that the stem cell builder worked. Now we're going to be able to also use the stem cell in at least the other pipelines to validate further VIPS compatibility.
But it can't be used publicly. We cannot publish this FIP stem cell. It can only be used for internal testing in the foundation.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is what I understood. So I'm aware of that the FIP stem cell has a license which is not public.
Yeah.
And, so, but let's say just try to understand where let's say okay, that's fine to hear that plan by the community. That makes a lot of sense. I understand. So, but the situation here is just a little bit different to what we require. So, so at SAP, so it means the stem cell is now the stem cell is not available because of the build does not exist, but the license issue is resolved, and Canonical in the meantime has also confirmed that the Jammy operating system can get the FIP support when you build it.
Yeah, I think that that was really recent, right? Like they started publishing their VIPS bits for Jammy. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Or maybe it's still in progress, but it should be landing somewhere this month. So we are basically clear. There's no blockers from Canonical to start this work, right? It's now just up to us to build that pipeline.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
And start creating the stem cell.
Yeah.
And then
what would be the process if now someone comes and sees Cloud Foundry supports FIPS? Maybe
they build their own stem cell.
So what I think we should
stamp on it, yeah, and wants now to use a FIP stem cell. What would then the recommended day by the community? Would it be just go to Canonical, just buy it and deploy to Cloud Foundry? That's it.
So what I think we should do is once we have the whole pipeline build up, and then once we test it with CF deployment and everything, we will just do a release of that branch, And basically what people can do is basically use that release, and then they can have their own pipeline or whatever set up where they use their licensing code to create the tarball, the stem cell tarball that they actually need. I think that's the proper way.
What do you mean with a release? Like a release of the pipeline to build the stem cell, or?
It's the same as what we're doing now. We also now do a stem cell release, but now we create all the tarballs and we put them in a blob store. But we can also now do it like basically also in a we can set up a release in a GitHub page or whatever, where we can say this tag has been tested and you can now build this. We can figure out all the details.
Yeah, so if we want to do it properly, we should find a way to pin our apt packages.
Yeah,
because those are floating, right? So there's this time aspect to it. So you can check out a tag, but you will not be able to reproduce the same. You were not able to get the same stem cell. I mean, this is a broader problem.
We currently have
like,
as well, right?
Yeah, I know it is currently a problem, but we are not as affected because we are all consuming the same artifacts, right? So that's why it's not that visible. But stem cell reproducibility, like from a checked out commit, would greatly help.
Well, then we need to parse over, because we already create the version files where we have all the packages, and then we need to parse that and see that we have some reproducibility from that point on when we do apt install.
Ideally, you do it like separately. You have a job that writes out that file, and then you have a job like during builds, you just consume that file, right? So you would bump it into source control, like a snapshot of all the package versions.
Getting that data is so late in the build process, it really feels like there's two separate. There's like building the initial stem cell, and then there's a totally different process for rebuilding that stem cell that we don't currently have that we need to build. Like, I don't see any other way of doing it.
Yeah,
I mean, like we could also have
and the IS
but
specific.
We could, like, to improve our reproducibility of our stem cell in general, right? Like that's even a useful thing to have for the non-VIP stem cells. So you could do that by decoupling like the package snapshot generation, like moving that really in the front of the stem cell. So like on a, I don't know, whatever, on an interval or something, it would run a job, just get a snapshot of the packages it would install. The problem is that all these packages that you want to install are scattered across all sorts of different tasks, right? So that's where the complexity comes in.
Yeah, I mean, they're spread throughout the entire installation process. That is a stem cell, right? Like you really can't get that package list until you're basically done.
Yeah.
Well, then we can misuse the master and the line stem cell, because basically once the master is built, we then can get all the stems, we can get all the package versions that are currently installed and then abuse that into the 1.x line.
I do believe that all these package install commands are at least using the same wrapper around apt, like a function. So maybe we can.
Yeah, it has a helper script for the apt install.
Yeah, that could be a thing where we like rewrite, do the mapping of like, oh, you're asking for this thing, or then you actually mean this particular version of this thing.
Yes.
But yeah, that would be a separate track of work that would greatly help with the, I don't know, at least I mean, it becomes more relevant if people want to start rebuilding a VIP stem cell, right? So it's basically, we need a VIP stem cell first, then we want to get all the components to be compatible, and then the vendors want to have a reproducible way of producing that stem cell internally. So I think those are the three distinct steps, and probably the reproducible stem cell work can be done in parallel with the upstream components are working on these types of things.
And they still don't want to make it easy for us that we can just inject the
I don't know. Like that's I think a third work stream where we as individual vendors need to have a talk with Canonical maybe again to discuss if we can actually just redistribute the stem cell. Like if they have ideas on how we want to do that, that would be the best outcome. But we cannot count on that, right? So I think the reproducible stem cell work is also valuable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's valuable in itself, and it would help with the rebuilding a stem cell internally.
Smaller logistical issue, which is branch divergence. I don't know if anybody has, like, we're gonna have this FIPS branch, we're gonna have the regular Jammy branch. How we
we don't have that. We have a variant.
Oh, okay. Right.
So
that's
that's
right.
why
Okay.
like we added variant support, so you can have a dash VIPs, and that basically takes all the same stuff except for a few.
There's just some additional stages that differ.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
In that
That's
case,
what
we already
we,
solved that problem.
Yeah, we solved that for the bionic one.
The only thing is that we have a few more if statements in our scripts, but
Yeah. And that's the exact stuff that probably needs to be backported to Jammy.
yeah, and are we go because for FIPS Bionic we only did for AWS. Which
That's true.
ISs are we going to support?
Presumably the target would be anything that Canonical can support. Seems like if we currently cut a stem, if the foundation currently cuts a stem cell for it, well, do we don't cut, that's not true. We cut some weird ones. But most likely one of the vendors is going to want to ship that as a FIPS version.
So yeah, I think AWS, GCP, Azure would probably the most like yeah.
Probably not vCloud, which I don't know why we still make that.
Yeah, vCloud, well, we don't support it anyway. So, and Ali Cloud is probably also going to be a...
I don't know, like, do they even have a package for that?
Huh?
Do they have a kernel for that?
I think so. But they probably don't have a FIPS kernel for it.
Yeah, that needs some research. Stefan, do you know like what ISs you all want to support?
Basically AWS.
Yeah, I think that's...
It could be that later on we also support Azure. So there are also FIPS use cases for Azure, but AWS is the most important one.
So we just start with the three major players, and then after we just accept PRs for.
Yeah, I don't think the other ones are that important.
Do you have also some timeline in mind when such an FIPS stem cell could be available?
We hope end of the year.
Okay.
Not like that's when we want to have everything that like we need it earlier. We want this is like for everything being at least compatible-ish, as in CF deployment deploys with VIPs that somewhere close to the end of the year.
Yeah, I'm just asking for the stem cell itself, not for the CF deployment. So for me, it's sure CF deployment is something that comes later. End of the year would be fine. Yeah, so
yeah,
it would be perfect. But nobody knows what the problems are now in CF deployment.
No.
We tried already the bionic FIPS stem cell. So, and had already a working Bosch and a working Red Hub. So some components could show that some components support FIPS. And this is a state we would like to reach as soon as possible also with the Jammy stem cell. So this is why I'm interested just in getting the FIPS stem cell, not expecting that it is already validated for the CF deployment. So we take it we deploy it and verify that all what we have tested a month before still continues to work with the Gemi version.
And when you say you all take the stem cell and validate it, do you mean CF deployment does that, or do you mean internally?
In generally, so it's not for the Bosch that deploys the CF deployment. We are using Bootstrap Bosch to deploy Bosch, and that's the one let's say we would like to show, and this includes also GitHub. So it's just our Bootstrap part of the deployment.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Stefan means internally, not.
Yeah, internally. So you, as a target, you have using it with for the Bosch director, right?
Yes,
And that's
right.
like before going for CF deployment. Yeah, that's
Yes,
a good
right.
intermediate
Right.
goal.
And let's say so this is just SAP internal, but we say it would be cool to get the stem cell itself as a kind of milestone that we can use, because of it's not just that we are waiting for for the final CF deployment. We have also to demonstrate that we get progress on the topic.
Yeah, the problem is that for the internal validation, you will have to work with Canonical to get the stem cell.
Yeah.
Right, because the stem cell that were like, we could try to like as an intermediate goal also try to use the VIP stem cell with the Bosch in the Bosch directors pipeline upstream, right? That could be a thing we do before going for CF deployment.
Yeah.
That's the same. It requires less hoops if we do it in the upstream, because
Yeah.
we have the stem the license.
Yeah. Yeah. So because of, let's say, when we were together with Canonical, the assumption was already Canonical will deliver the stem cell. So this is what we had with the Bionic version. So it was built by Canonical. We tried to deploy it. So that was a delivery channel, I would say. But did also resolve the license problem. And now I just see that, let's say, when it's now the case that the stem cell is built by the community, it means it's not coming from Canonical anymore.
No,
So,
it needs to. You still need to get it from Canonical, but for
the
Canonical
license,
to be,
the license, yes.
no, but no, but also the stem cell. Like we are not allowed
okay.
to give you the stem cell.
Okay. Yeah, sure, of course. Okay.
So
right.
and for Canonical to be able to give you the Gemi stem cell, we actually need to build the pipeline, because otherwise, like the stem cell builder currently doesn't support Gemi VIPs.
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's complicated. So, but let's say that's a problem maybe for us. So we have to ask. So what I understand is, or what I'm interested in, and this is some answer Canonical have to give. When can we get the stem cell?
Yes, and then you're gonna put pressure on Canonical, and then they are gonna come to us again,
right,
to help with the stem cell builder to actually add Gemi support. I mean, and then we're gonna build this pipeline. So that's what I mean. Like, there's probably gonna be people from VMware, SAP, and Canonical that all want to make this pipeline happen, because we're all interested in it.
Yeah. Got it. Okay.
So someone needs to make a pipeline.
I see a green pipeline.
Yeah, it's already green. It's paused, though. Permanently green. Paused at the right moment.
Yeah.
It has the wrong label. It's called Bionic. So
Yes.
as a typo in the pipeline.
We can change this.
Just a typo. Yeah. Yeah, so I think the good first step is to create a channel like we did with Bionic, invite the people that want to help, and then we go from there. But at least we have a plan, I guess. Maybe it would be good if we write some of this down. But I mean, this call is recorded, which also counts.
Yeah.
So, any more questions on VIPs before we continue with our normal program?
Regarding the RFC, when makes sense to create such an RFC in the community?
I think we should. So first, we still need to start to work on the pipeline, because that's just our working group. And if we feel like we're getting close to making something work, I mean, it also depends, right? Do we need an RFC if it's just a CF deployment, right? We just want to work with the deployment working group, which is probably mostly influenced by what SAP wants, because it's staffed by SAP. So if SAP wants VIPs testing, I mean, sure, we can have an RFC.
But most probably
discuss it.
some of the working groups will need to do some fixes for
Okay.
support.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
so
know
it would
whether the validation will happen finally. Yeah, we can discuss this in the TOC maybe. Maybe just on CF deployment side validation.
Yeah, like as a first step, right? And then it is like up to the working groups to also, like, if they feel like they want faster feedback, right? And they want to incorporate VIPs in their but that's optional, right? That would be a logical next step, but I wouldn't want to make that a requirement before, like, say, the end of the year, right? Like, if we can have CF deployment do the final validation, that's good enough for now. But yeah, an RFC would be good.
Yeah, because
mainly around
this way we can get the buy-in from the working groups that they will fix the issues. Maybe. Yeah. Not that CF deployment.
Yeah, no, no, that's a good point. Yeah, then we at least have like some central agreement on that. This is a thing that we're all gonna be working on.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be honest, I think it will be pretty easy, given that there's some pressure on the VMware side, at least, to make this happen. So that should help prioritize getting these fixes through. But I mean, still, it's good to on the also create an RFC so that we have some visibility, public visibility into this as well.
Yeah, maybe that can be stated also officially for CF that it's FIPS validated.
Yeah.
Somehow certified.
Certified, I wouldn't go that far. We did some validation, some parts might work, TM.
Yeah. Okay. But this can be clarified in a later point, yeah.
Yeah. I think next step is create a channel and then invite people and start working on this the pipeline.
Yeah.
Okay. So we can close the VIPs topic and continue with reviewing PRs. So we can finally maybe merge all the ones that are stuck on Benjamin's reviews.
We get some reviews or what?
No, Benjamin is here. Like he was away for a long time. So.
Oh, hello.
No, it's gonna be the fastest, the fastest part of the call.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, Benjamin, I took you out of the rotation for stem cell or for pull request reviews. I'm happy to add you back, but yeah, just say if you have availability to look at these things.
Yep, you can add me back.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're back?
With pleasure.
Nice. Good. I will add you back to the rotation after the call. What's this? Interesting. This is Bosch bootloader. Okay. vSphere support. That we're not testing that, right?
Nope.
There's no infrastructure
No.
tested on. Yeah.
No.
There is a test, but we're not doing integration tests on it. So it looked like it has to fall back. So if they really want this, I'm fine with it.
Are you okay with merging it?
You can scroll through it and see what happens. But
And for clarity, we require one reviewer to merge these days?
No,
Two?
but I can add a review.
I
But then
wasn't
need
sure.
to
I
look at
remember it was
it.
two, and then I thought it was one.
I mean, like it is two, but sometimes like when it's like, I don't know, a docs change or something, like it's not that risky. Sometimes bend the rules a bit because we don't have branch protection, so I can.
no, you're just God mode. There is branch protection. You just have God mode on.
Sure. Yeah, also that. Okay, no, this is too much to go through with
It's-
all of us, so I will review it after the call. Or I can assign a people. That's maybe easier. That's more realistic.
Speaking
Live.
of branch protection, there's the discussion topic around switching from deploy keys to bots.
Mhm.
And I had to make a fine grain access token the other day, and it did not let me select which repos it has access to. You can only select repos, it seems like, in that user's GitHub account, not things they have access to. Just like the Bosch admin bot, its own personal repos are the only things it can grant that token access to, or everything, which doesn't seem fine grained if you ask me.
No, that's a bit
Maybe I was
bizarre.
doing it wrong, but it seemed very strange to me, especially since the docs seem to imply that I should be able to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's a point of feedback somebody else should take a look at some point. I ended up
Yeah.
making it a deploy key.
For this one, I wanted to add my review, but I cannot test it locally because I don't have Windows. So, but I did this in BBL and it seems perfectly fine.
Sounds good enough to me. There's a lot of pipelines around this.
Yeah, we just wait for Brian to approve. Is this the same one?
Yes.
Greenhouse CI? It's the
Well,
same
it's the same
title, but it's a
thing.
different repo.
Oh,
Huh?
Hmm.
Why do we have this?
I think it depends on each other.
I see. But this
This
then
change
also
is
needs,
required.
yeah. This
oh,
then
it's
also
because of the
needs-
makefile shenanigans that nobody quite understands.
Seemed like a good idea with Makefile back in the day.
Well, no, it's that the Windows team had some sort of transitional period, and like the makefile in stem build isn't the one that's actually used to build stem cells. There's that one in that other repo that gets copied in and replaced. The old makefile gets copied in, and that one gets used instead. Nobody's quite sure why or when or how it changes things, and nobody's bothered looking at it because Windows stem cells generally just work. So it's this thorn in our side that we've not looked at.
As long as it works, I just leave it.
That has been our Windows stem cell policy.
That's awesome.
It is also seems like no-brainer. It's like go change something. And I would say local seems the same thing to do because we use it. We have set specific Go versions in our CIs anyways.
Does this change the templates?
No, it doesn't change anything. It just
Are these files not
change it.
generated? I guess they're not.
These are the files that you source, right?
yeah, those are the
Yeah.
sourced files for in the script that I use. For when you package the Golang release, and for now you don't want it to download a newer Golang version.
Yeah.
So that'll apply to all of the current Go packages, but just doesn't do anything on the other ones, presumably.
Yeah, it seems to be on a new. We need to go, I think, over all our repos.
These files are used for all the versions, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is this is specific for the Bosch package go and release. I mean, for other
Yeah, I
releases
know.
it uses Go.
Yes,
Maybe.
but this specific file is used. So there's multiple versions of
Oh
Go
yeah,
in this
it's
release.
used for all the Go versions.
But it's
Yeah.
probably harmless to set it and Go 120 and 119. It probably doesn't do anything or doesn't cause harm, at least.
Yeah.
And I would assume that if somebody actually doesn't want this, you have a release that actually doesn't include the vendored files because it's not doesn't work in an air-gapped environment. You could just source that and then unset this afterwards if you wanted to. So
Yes,
seems good.
I agree.
I would
So
advise against
maybe-
it, but because then why the hell are you using a release?
Maybe you're doing some proof of concept work. If we can get another review, then we can merge
I will
this.
do it now.
Did you mean now or?
I'm now approve.
No. Well, your internet is laggy. Oh, wait, it happened.
My internet is laggy? I would presume it's more your internet.
Yeah, I have fiber, except for today it doesn't work. So I'm now on my phone, tethered to my phone.
This vSphere one is also waiting for.
Yeah, but there were not enough approvals on it.
So it's waiting for review.
Oh,
Matthias,
yes.
what are you doing? Come on.
Yeah, but you have to give me the time to review it, right?
Yes.
What? 300 lines
Yeah.
of code? Just
Yeah. What happened here? Wait, what did I do? My internet?
I don't think it's your internet. Mine came up blank today too. I think GitHub's having some weird things.
Refreshing helps. Okay.
Yeah, I responded to them yesterday. Just normal debug stuff. Just don't know if he didn't respond yet.
So this is in discussion then, right? Something like that.
This I'm not sure about because unresponsive agent only.
all documentation says that it will resurrect.
The
responsive
resurrector should handle this.
All of the code I've ever seen also says that. I wonder if this could be a false unresponsive agent. Like in large deployments, when you do a Bosch VMs, it gives them like 5 seconds to respond. So if you have like 600 VMs, somebody's not coming back in time, and the CLI says that one's unresponsive, even if it's still heart beating just fine. So normal health monitor gives VMs like 45 seconds, whereas Bosch VMs only gives them like 5 seconds. So that could be what's going on here. We've definitely seen that before.
He said
But
that he
he
was
has health
waiting.
monitor logs.
What is when it looks like he has only one instance. Is it then in a
Process is not running.
You mean a meltdown?
Yeah, he has killed the process. It's at the beginning with Bosch's SH and kill.
Oh, but like Bosch's SH.
So somewhere in the Bosch.
So he kills it himself to replicate the issue? Is that
Yes.
what he was doing here?
Yeah. Some ways Bosch's sage.
But he's killing Monet. He's not killing the agents.
Well, no, he's killing all the processes with what's coming back from Monet actual.
Yeah, but that's not killing the agent.
No, it's not. It should not kill the agent because
So
the
what's he
agent
trying
is.
to do?
It should not even give unresponsive agent. It should just.
Yeah,
give-
exactly.
Yeah, I don't understand why it's going into this state. Maybe it's going into bootstrap mode and not able to continue through.
Why would it go
I-
in boot
I
mode?
wonder if Mana is actually dead, and you ask Bosch. I bet the agent throws an error when you do Bosch VMs and agent and Monad's dead or something, and so it's not getting a response back for the Bosch VMs call, and then the CLI is saying it's unresponsive. But the agent's still heartbeating just fine,
That makes sense. So
because we
what's
don't
he?
exactly expect Mana to just be killed.
Yeah, this is not a supported use case.
How can we?
I mean, we can
Verify.
point to stop agents. OSConf, right? OSConf release has a stop agent script.
There is a SD when it stop.
The SV.
SV agent
Disable
stop, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like, this is a
SV
public
stop
thing
when it
that I can
are.
point. Yeah, but this is a public thing that I can point to.
Killing boss agent just in case.
Yeah, it's important.
This didn't stop. Just shoot it.
We already know. Yeah, it's just not updating. Okay.
And I think we can close these ones because I haven't responded now for like 3 weeks.
He's still got one open that we're going back and forth on that I need to respond to. But yeah, these
Closing in favor of 2463.
Nope. Is it the same? Okay.
Yeah. He just.
that one's still ongoing. The 1-2 down from it though is can probably be closed.
This is ongoing.
Yeah, I need to respond again. It's my Thursday reminder to check my email and respond to these things.
Oh.
Um, all right.
What's happening with that metrics?
With metrics. Oh, good question.
Nothing right, but we should improve our documentation. Because it's documented that we are metrics you receive basically some yeah, metrics about the access on different endpoints, right? But this is only true for the metrics endpoint itself.
Yeah, it says that you get generic metrics about the Bosch APIs.
Yeah.
Prometheus provides, but yeah, it's not the case. So if you if we don't want to improve this, then we have to fix the docs. Yeah.
Joseph, last time you said because they changed the package, right?
I think I said I wasn't sure what was going on here and I would look into it. I think I forgot that I said that.
I mean, it's open for contribution, right? So
Yeah.
I think we.
No, I
It's
know
basically-
something about event. I remember something about event machine and another.
But there are different processes. I don't remember that the architecture changed so that. So we have a metric service process and the Bosch director, and yeah.
Yeah, I don't see how the metric server could get stats on that unless the Bosch director is trying to ship them
Yes.
somewhere. There should be some evidence of if that was ever true. Most likely it was just a docs line that's never been built, but I'll do a little bit of digging to confirm that.
Yeah.
I believe that's that, right? Any other business?
What was it below the pending merge? I saw someone from me. Pending merge prioritized. Scroll down.
Well, oh yeah, this is something that you are doing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was for they changed they had now have spot prices instead of the with the provisioning model, and so they now have two ways how to create spot VMs basically, same as in AWS.
I don't know how it happened, but like it says here that it's prioritized and it's
I have
assigned
no
to the
idea.
person.
So do you understand anything about the new system? Because it's like there's like a bid price. So like if I bid like basically the on-demand price, do I pay that much or do I pay the current spot price?
No,
Like
there is no bidding in I could not find anything about bidding inside GCP. For AWS you have it, but for GCP it's just I want the cheapest option in this data center, and do you have it, yes or no? And then basically the only thing you have is like when it's shut down, so you have it for either for the current behavior is like you can only have it for max 24 hours, and the new behavior is you can have it as long as we don't need it.
I thought that first link says something about like bidding or something, or you have to specify a price.
I could not find it in the API. I could only find like I made a PR, and that was the only thing I found. So the whole preemptions and versus spots or something.
Yeah. Oh, spot price VMs. No, it doesn't say anything about bidding. I guess I don't understand when they ever take it back from you.
Well, they basically, so with the preemptible, they basically kill after 24 hours. Doesn't matter what happening. After 24 hours, the VM is killed anyway.
Right. So when did they take spot ones back from you though?
So that's
when they need it.
When they need it. So when they want to reboot the whole server or whatever, then the VM is gone. So you cannot. The VM can be gone anytime.
No, but they take it when they need to sell it to someone else
Yeah.
that wants to pay the full price, right? And you're gonna get this discount.
Yes.
By the way, AWS advertises theirs as up to a 90% discount, which I suspect is why it says up to a 91% discount here.
Probably.
Nice.
But at least 60%. It's also pretty hard to find the prices for each region.
They say there's an API, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
But they don't have an overview on their website just with normal. Just what you can see. Now I need to build something to see the actual spot prices.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Thanks all, and
How is
see you
that
next week.
device path resolution timeout for AWS and Ali? Is that going on? That's already on there for a few months.
Yeah, I think we just set this to created a story. This issue, which is did we put? Yeah, we put it on the wish list
Oh, okay.
for then, because it's not so safe to do that now in the stem cell. We want to do that the next stem cell.
Yeah, the current work should be usable by the original purpose of the device mapping on AWS and Ali Cloud. But as far as what was the additional issues? Oh, with OpenStack? Yeah.
OpenStack, yeah.
OpenStack's you just hope that it lines up right now. So we want to redo the logic, but we don't want to do that in Jammy right now because it would be a big change.
But the stem cell changes still haven't been made for this, right?
No.
Max, is that something that you all are planning on doing?
Currently not, no.
Because the issue went away, or it's not important, or what?
Yeah. We solved it in the Ali Cloud CPI.
So
okay.
it's relying now on the path resolution. The ID doesn't work.
Okay, I see. Okay. So we can close this issue then?
Does that mean we also reverting the stuff that we did in the stem cell builder?
We didn't do this stuff in the stem cell builder. We only did stuff in the agent.
Didn't we do for the stem cell builder where we had the ability to set the
We have the ability, as in it's you could set it in a config file for the agent, but we have not
for the agent.
done that.
Yes. Okay, good. Check. Is that something we need
Max,
to revert, or
That'll probably be a building block for the 2404 work that we want to do.
Cool.
So I think the issue still exists, but yeah, from my side we can close it because we have a workaround for the real issue.
Yeah, and once we do the 2404 work, it should be easier to make a config in the stem cell builder that the CPI is able to provide an ID that will actually work for that. Right now, it's very, very difficult to know exactly what's going to happen in it. All the ISs.
Okay. Thanks all. See
you later.
Next time. Bye.
See you.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.
See you, bye.